Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Facebook Live. This is June 8th, 2020, and we're here on the Oneida Nation Reservation in Wisconsin. My name is Bobby Webster, and I'm the Public Relations Director for the Oneida Nation. So, at this time, we have our guests today are Dr. Veer with our medical update, as well as we have Steve Ninham, who's the manager at our Oneida Radisson Inn. So today, I just want to say a few things about moving forward, and we continue to wear our masks and disinfect our area and social distance, just for those I know who make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. But I also want to talk about tobacco burning that we have scheduled for Thursday, June 11th. One of the things that has been in discussion is how are we going to social distance? How are we going to make sure that we're in compliance with our orders? The Safer at Home order is due to expire on June 11th, and the business committee and our healthcare professionals are continuing to meet and monitor our medical situation and our cases on the reservation day by day. Every day they take a look at the cases that we have, how many we have in isolation, as well as the deaths on the reservation. So in light of all that, we're going to ask people to participate in a very socially distanced manner. We're also going to encourage our elders and those people that are handicapped and vulnerable to walking around large areas to stay in their cars. The event is going to be at the Norbert Hill Center on the powwow grounds. Rain or shine, we hope that it's going to be a clear day. Right now it looks like maybe a 20% chance. So before we get to Steve, I'm going to ask Dr. Veer to give us our medical update, and also maybe Dr. Veer can give us some insight into that event. It's an outdoor event and what that might look like from a medical professional's point of view. Dr. Veer?
Thank you, Bobby. Sagoli, greetings everyone. I'll respond to the event, the tobacco burning event happening on Thursday, June 11th. Since it's an event that's happening outdoors, as long as we follow the safe distancing recommendations and have a face covering, that's I think a good activity to be participating in. And as Bobby, you mentioned, it's a good idea if individuals have difficulty with walking, especially on uneven surfaces, that they can stay in their cars and participate in that event. I'd like to also provide some updates on the COVID-19 cases. I've got some good news to share as it pertains to the Oneida jurisdiction, our reservation. We haven't seen any changes in the numbers from this weekend. As of this morning, we have 46 cases in the nation, 19 in Brown and 27 in Outagamie County. We have 2 deaths as reported earlier in Outagamie County. Unfortunately, the news is not as positive outside of our jurisdiction. Cases continue to increase in Brown and Outagamie counties, and as well as in the state of Wisconsin, nationally and globally. Within the state of Wisconsin, as of this morning, we had 12,930 COVID-19 cases. As of this morning, we had 12,930 cases within the IHS system. In the state of Wisconsin, we had 20,835 cases with 647 deaths reported in the state. Outagamie had 270 cases with 8 deaths, and Brown County had 2,377 cases with 38 deaths reported within Brown County from COVID-19. IHS, as I mentioned, 12,930 cases of COVID-19. With Bemidji, that is our area, the Bemidji region includes Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, had 268 cases. Albuquerque, 807. The Navajo Nation is bearing the brunt of this pandemic, unfortunately, and they were at 6,814 cases as of this weekend. Phoenix area was at 2,389 cases. Within the U.S., we are approaching the 2 million mark. We were at 1,942,363 cases of COVID-19, with over 110,000 deaths related to COVID-19. Globally, we're at 7,036,623 cases and over 400,000 deaths related to COVID-19 globally. We continue to perform COVID-19 testing within the nation. As of this weekend, we had performed 571 tests for COVID with 38 positives, so our positive rate being 6.65% within the Oneida Comprehensive Health Division. We are recommending the drive-through testing facility is open to all patients of the nation and all employees of the Oneida Nation. They do not need an appointment. They can drive right to the facility on Airport Drive at the Woodland Church location. If you're not a registered patient, it may take a little while just to get a mini registration done. However, that process we've streamlined and it's fairly straightforward. We are looking at making some changes in our hours based on demand for testing, and we'll keep you updated when we make that change. Another reminder for our folks, when we get a negative test, which we've gotten in about 94% of our tests that we performed, we do recommend that you maintain your precautions. A negative test means the virus was not detected in that individual at that time. That does not in any way provide any indication of what may happen in the future in terms of exposure and getting infected or getting the disease. So it's really important that we follow the safe distancing recommendations, having a face covering or a mask while in public, washing our hands, and if we're not feeling well, to not expose others at the workplace or in public. These are stressful times when you look at all the pain and suffering, death related to COVID-19 in our community and nationally. So please do take care of yourself. There are means of, there are things we can do to reduce our stress and anxiety levels in these tough times. So please do take care of your physical health, your mental health. Cut down on your TV, especially news watching. If you do need information about COVID, please stick with the trusted sources like CDC, WHO. The DHS website has some really good information about COVID, and they update that website at least twice a day. Get regular physical exercise, enhance your spiritual practices, connect with your family and friends. Please make sure you follow those safety recommendations that we repeated here multiple times. Use a face covering or a mask to protect yourself, your family, as well as your community. I'd like to now introduce Steve Ninham, who's going to be providing updates. He's our general manager for the Radisson Hotel. Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Ninham, and I'm the general manager of the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center, Green Bay. Today I would like to provide an overview on the status of our hotel, the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center, during the COVID pandemic. When the COVID pandemic struck us in March, we slowly started getting cancellations, which to date have totaled over $3 million. With the loss of these revenues, we had to take immediate action with putting much of our staff on layoff status as well as furlough. A core group of employees were left at the hotel to manage our operation, since we made the decision to keep the hotel open during this time. Currently, we have 235 employees that are on layoff and furlough. We also, in the past several weeks, had to make the decision to eliminate some key management positions as well as some fixed hourly positions in the hotel. We took immediate action to close down Tower 1 and Tower 2, along with part of the main hotel. Our swimming pool, sauna, whirlpool, and health club continue to remain closed, and we plan to open the swimming pool during the week of June 14th. When our pool does open, social distancing protocols will be put into place based on the square footage of our pool, allowing for a maximum of 15 hotel guests to be in the pool at any given time. Pool furniture will also be spaced appropriately. As for our outlets, we had to close Pine Tree Grill and Purcell's Lounge. However, we are currently serving out of our coffee shop all of our food and beverage, where we serve Starbucks, as well as grab-and-go family-style meals that include roasted chicken, meatloaf, beef tips, and lasagna. So if you're interested in getting any of those items, we encourage you to stop by the coffee shop to order those food items. During the pandemic, our management company, Aimbridge Hospitality, rolled out daily Zoom meetings and conference calls to discuss recommendations from the Center for Disease Control regarding COVID safety protocols. Our hotel has adopted many of these protocols, including the wearing of face coverings by all staff when in the public space, along with mandatory temperature checks. Our food and beverage operations have even more stringent guidelines, including ensuring hand washing is taking place every 20 minutes, as well as wearing face coverings and using gloves. Our kitchens not only need to be cleaned, but sanitized as well, and need to be treated as if there were a medical operating room now. That is going to be the new norm for us going forward. Housekeeping's also been given proper guidance, since initially staff was not allowed to enter a guest room after a guest checked out for 1 week. That eventually moved down to 72 hours, then 24 hours, and at present, our staff is not allowed to enter a guest room until 3 hours after it is vacated by a guest. Items such as notepads, pens, decorative pillows, and other signage all had to be removed from our guest rooms, per the recommendations of our management company. Our business partners came forward to assist us with marketing efforts during this time. WFRV Channel 5 has been running complimentary commercials for us on our outlets as well as our guest rooms, promoting our casino packages. The Green Bay Packers have also been doing complimentary email blasts and listings on their website promoting our hotel. Other partners such as the Green Bay Convention and Visitors Bureau, Green Bay Chamber of Commerce, and Austin Straubel Airport have also worked with us to promote businesses in our hotel. We are very grateful that they came forward at a time like this to show their support of the hotel. The impact on the tourism industry on our local economy is significant. More than $718 million in direct spending annually, as well as more than 12,000 jobs in Brown County, are supported by tourism and hospitality. Much of what we are learning is that when people travel, cleanliness is going to be on the top of their list. And one of the main goals has been to put protocols in place that will provide for the safety of both our hotel guests and our employees. With no revenue coming into the hotel, we applied for the Payroll Protection Program loan and was awarded that with the assistance of Bay Bank. We've been surviving off that, however, revenues continue to decline as more and more groups continue to cancel. Thankfully, the Packers schedule came out and we received many reservations for that and are sold out for many of the home games. Just last week, we had a hockey group booked to our hotel for July with over 350 room nights. We also, over this past weekend, hosted our first COVID wedding with all of our safety protocols in place. Things seem odd at the moment for our industry, but we're realizing that this could be our new normal. Staff continue to ask me how long they have to take temperature checks, or how long do I have to wear this face mask. I tell them that all we know is what we know today, and this could become the new way of life for our service industry. With the casino opening up, we followed the lead of our business partner, the United Casino, to ensure safety protocols are in place, as all employees who work in the casino wear face coverings and get temperature checks, in addition to following social distancing practices. The Noodle Bar and Main Casino Bar are performing better than anticipated, and it is our plan to open up the Executive Lounge this coming weekend. We feel very fortunate to have a solid relationship with the United Casino and will continue to work with them to bring increased revenues and profits to Oneida Nation. Through all of this, our renovation continued to move forward, and we're expected to have all areas completed by the end of June. Our new outlets will be Skyworld Coffee and Custard, Duck Creek Kitchen and Bar, and Purcell's Beer Garden. This will be a challenging time to open these outlets. However, we are hopeful that our industry will be moving forward towards opening up in the months ahead. In addition to that, all 391 of our guest rooms have been fully renovated, as well as the public hallways, and that was completed in November of 2019. In closing, I want to thank the community for your support of our businesses, as well as our business partner, Oneida Casino, for their support and guidance through the opening of our businesses. I will work hard with our team to get the hotel to recover from this pandemic and make the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center the premier hotel in Green Bay that it was before. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And got a few questions that have come in. First for Dr. Veer. One of the questions is, do you have any idea when dental may be called back?
We've actually been actively working with the staff that we have currently in the dental clinic. They are limited, and there's some safety protocols that have to be followed with the COVID-19, especially some of those procedures that are done in the dental clinic generate what is called aerosols, and those aerosol generating procedures are considered really high risk. So we're working with our team trying to solidify those protocols and processes as we expand the services that are being provided.
Okay, another question for you, Dr. Veer, is COVID not as strong as it was at these large functions? You see people without masks and with masks. Should they test after these large groups, or do they not have to worry if they wear a mask?
That's a great question. It's really difficult to predict or project where these numbers are going to go. The concern within public health and most of the healthcare professionals is exactly that. When we have these large gatherings, one, it's really difficult to socially distance, and unfortunately a lot of the individuals are not wearing masks. So those are the two major concerns. The good thing is most of these activities and gatherings have been in open, which is a lower risk than having that same gathering in a closed space or in a conference room or in a building. So if we look at when the Safer at Home order was discontinued or negated in Wisconsin, we saw a spike in numbers 2 weeks after that. So with the incubation period of 2 to 14 days, it's tough to make a prediction at this point. Having a face covering on is definitely protective, and if everyone was using a face covering, that risk actually would be pretty low, especially since those events and gatherings have been in open. So I would again urge each and every individual, if you're in public, going to an event, family gathering, or protest, whatever those activities may be, please, if you're in a public space with other individuals, practice safe distancing and use a face covering.
Okay, earlier you mentioned some resources that people could go to for accurate information. You said the CDC, the WHO, and there's some others. Could you tell us what those acronyms stand for so we go looking for them, we know what that is?
Sure. CDC is the Center for Disease Control. WHO, the World Health Organization, and DHS is the Department of Health Services, or the Department of Health, State of Wisconsin. So if you just Google that, you should be able to get to those sites. And actually, if you Google COVID-19 page for Department of Health, State of Wisconsin, you'll get to that page that has some really good information.
Okay. We live and breathe those acronyms and use them so frequently that sometimes we forget some people don't understand all of those acronyms like BIA. I think everybody knows what BIA means. But another question, Dr. Veer, is can you remind us the current corona cases in Oneida? And I think you mentioned them, but somebody may have tuned in later.
Sure.
As well as how many are in isolation?
We have a total of 46 positive cases in the Oneida Nation, 19 in Brown and 27 in Outagamie County. 2 deaths in Outagamie County. As of now, we have 0 active cases in isolation in Brown and 2 cases that are active in the Outagamie County area, in the Outagamie County within Oneida. So.
Good. So we're flattening a little bit, and we just need to continue doing what we're doing, right?
Absolutely. I think we're making progress, and we got to look at. We don't live in on an island. We're surrounded by areas that unfortunately have cases, and if we practice those safety precautions, I think we have a good chance of keeping the cases under control.
All right. And Steve, what kind of things need to happen for you to bring back more employees, and will you be hiring any new employees?
We're being real careful with bringing employees back, so we want to make sure that we have enough business on the books. We don't want to hurt the hotel financially at this time, so we really need to get a good revenue stream coming into the hotel to make sure we can bring employees back safely. So protocols are still being put in place. For example, on the food and beverage side of things, they're saying buffets are a thing of the past. So we need to look at how we're going to do that, as well as how we're going to serve family-style meals. You know, so imagine a wedding for 500 people that have to be socially distanced. So our recommendation for our company is putting 4 people at a 6-foot round, and that's what we did this past weekend. So we're working on things like that to get business back into the hotel and doing it slowly in phases. This week we did bring some staff back, and then next week we'll continue to be adding on to that staff. So it should be coming back slowly.
Thank you, Steve. One of the questions is about opening bingo and table games, and I think we get that question every week. We're a little bit closer, as we are every week as the changes occur. Our casino management has advised that they are waiting on the delivery of the orders for plexiglass. And the plexiglass industry is booming right now. So many businesses, as well as casinos and private businesses as well, are waiting on the delivery. They will be getting it, they expect it within about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And once that comes in, shortly after that, they expect to resume some of the table games and the bingo operations. So thank you for keeping that on our docket. And that looks like that's the end of our question feed today, at least the ones that I can see. So we'll be back. We hope to broadcast live the Facebook on Thursday for the tobacco burning ceremony. And also Friday, we expect to have the Treasurer Trish King and some representative from our Bay Bank to discuss small business and the impact that COVID has had on our local small businesses and some of the things that's changed in the bank that we're adjusting to. I have to remind you on another hot, sultry day that Oneida Lake is closed and will remain closed for the rest of the summer. Sorry about that. Also, remember to check on your parents, your elders, and those who are vulnerable to the heat. Today it's going to be very hot, and especially for those without air conditioning or people who don't have a place to go that may be homeless. Check the malls. The malls are open. They're not cooling stations as of yet, but the libraries are usually someplace where you can go. I don't know if our library is open or not. Also, this Friday, there's another drive-through food distribution at our food distribution center on Water Circle Place below the large water tower in Oneida, and that's from 10 to noon. It's my understanding last week they went through 1,500 grocery boxes, so everybody was able to come in and take advantage of that, and they stayed open until they ran out. Also a reminder, the school lunch distribution has changed somewhat. They are still providing lunches Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. until 11:15. But all of the distribution is at the Norbert Hill Center in the back cafeteria. So you have to go around to the back of the cafeteria, back of the Norbert Hill Center. The cafeteria doors, you can see they're open, and you can pick up your lunches there for the rest of the summer. We want to thank everybody once again and encourage people to continue the Safer at Home, continue your practices. Oneida is getting that curve down there, and we want to have a safe community. We want to open up, but the Oneida Nation is opening very slowly and very deliberately according to our healthcare plans. So people aren't just popping open the doors without having it thought through, meeting with our Oneida health professionals and our business committee. So we hope that we can continue to open up slowly, and we know it's hard to be patient, but we ask for your patience and we ask for your continued prayers and support for the community. Yaunko.